Hello everybody, welcome to the first episode of Behind Our Lens.
I'm Jess.
And I'm Steph.
And we want to take you behind the scenes on some of the cool stuff that we do working in the entertainment industry.
Our day-to-day work life consists of interviewing artists, going to red carpets, and a lot more.
I'm currently working as our national content producer for iHeartRadio Canada.
And I'm currently working as a digital content specialist for Virgin Radio Toronto and Chum 104.5, also helping out with iHeartRadio Canada. So Jess, this is our first podcast episode. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. This is exciting, but definitely something new to get used to.
Right? Okay, so let's tell everybody more of what you do.
So on the daily, I work with our label partners and I set up and schedule all of our interviews for iHeartRadio Canada. And I work with our national hosts to sort of plan that out, get those ready to go. And we'll shoot and edit all of our interviews. And most of the time we get to be at really fun events, red carpets, and doing our own events, which are lots of fun.
Well, I work for Virgin Radio Toronto and Chum 104.5, and I basically do all of the photography, videography, video editing for all of our social content, a lot of web graphics and things like that, and I help Jess out when she needs my help. So let's talk about some of our favorite moments from this year and things that we've worked on.
I mean, I feel like anyone on the internet that follows iHeartRadio or myself knows what mine is, and that would be our iHeartRadio live event with Niall Horan that got rescheduled finally from our COVID shutdown, which was very sad. So we finally got to have Niall back in town, and we finally got to have him perform. Now he has his new album, The Show, so that is definitely my personal fave, as he is my favorite.
Yeah, that was so much fun to do, and Niall was so sweet when he came in. We basically spent the entire day with him.
Yeah. No, getting to set up the interviews, do that, and then also go and do the event, it's just the perfect day.
Right? And to get to see him perform it all live was so cool.
Yeah, such an intimate setting. I know that he talks about feeling more nervous or on edge with a small crowd, but I don't know, it's so nice to just be there connected with him.
Yeah, and so close, and he sounds great. I don't know why he's nervous, but
he doesn't need to be.
He was also the first member of One Direction I've ever met, so I freaked out a little bit.
Well,
Jess can't say the same, though.
I met them all at once, so it was a small miracle.
Nice.
And I'll never forget that moment in time.
Literally, I feel like that never happens. Like, you're probably the first person I've ever met that's met them all.
I found out
at
in
once.
The moment that I was meeting them.
Oh my God, what?
Didn't I tell you that?
No.
Yeah. I was going to the show in Montreal, and I was trying so hard just to, like, get anything. I was trying to get into the sound check party when they used to do those.
Ah.
And my dad, on the down low, was like half friends with this scalper.
Oh.
Because he had like bought a ticket from us once that we were trying to get rid of because we had extra for Enrique.
Nice.
And literally, we were debating if we should go shopping because we had a bit of time before I was going to the show. I was a lot younger, so I was just meeting my dad there. And he called my dad and was like, how quickly can you get down here? I have one opening.
Oh my gosh.
And I ran down the street yelling at my father to hurry up because he has bad knees. And I said, hurry up, I'm not missing this.
Oh my gosh.
And I sprinted there, waited in line. I still didn't know that I was meeting them.
Wow.
So I'm standing in line just waiting to get in. And I was making friends with this girl that was actually from LA. And then they said, oh, do you know how this works? Once we got inside. I said, what works? Like, we're just going to a seat. And she was like, oh, I just need your email to send you the photo.
Oh my gosh.
What photo? And that was it. And so I nervously wrote my email while paying extreme attention because I was so worried it was not going to be readable. And then I met them.
Oh my gosh, what the most beautiful surprise that could ever happen.
Yep.
Every fan's dream.
Yeah. And so I just messaged everyone after.
Wow.
I just met them.
Oh my gosh.
It was, I just feel so grateful.
Wow. And I saw the photo. You were sandwiched between Harry and Niall, is that right?
I actually asked to be placed between them.
Well, that's a good place to be.
Harry was at the front of the line, and first off, he's such a gem.
Oh, of course he is.
He was so lovely, and I said, "Can I be between you and Niall for the pic?" Because they've always been Nary girl, and he said, "Yeah."
Wow.
So yeah, I specifically chose that placement.
Amazing. I'm extremely jealous. Well, I'd say my favorite moment from this year would have to be doing the iHeartRadio Live with Lewis Capaldi.
So funny.
I can't believe that he's not a comedian. Like, he's potentially the funniest person I've ever met in my life.
Obsessed with him.
We were filming an interview before the event with Shannon Burns. She was interviewing him, and we were filming behind the cameras, and I was laughing so hard, and I was trying so hard not to make noise because you would just hear me in the background. But he's so funny.
Yeah, it was the funniest thing. It's always so hard to not laugh. I think one of like maybe 3 interviews that I've ever done that's like that.
Yeah.
Where it's so hard to control what is happening because it's just pure, like hilarious.
Yeah, like pure humor, so funny.
And when we talked to him the first time, like years prior before COVID, it was the same. It was the first time I was completely struggling to keep my shit together.
I don't know how he's not a comedian. And he was saying in the interview that some people say that they think he is a ghostwriter, which is crazy, but no, he's that funny.
You can tell it's way too spur of the moment.
Yeah.
The stuff coming out of it, like, so we're doing the interview, and mid-interview, he notices his chair squeaking. Oh. I don't think anyone else could hear it in the room, and he just stopped, and he's like, "You're getting this."
Move. This chair's quite squeaky.
He's just too much.
He's too good. No.
He's amazing.
And then to top it off, he goes on stage and performs these incredible ballads with the wildest voice I've ever heard.
So emotional.
It's just crazy.
Yeah. It's the last person that you would expect that from.
100%.
Because it's just so polar opposite.
And all around, just like that voice, his funniness, and his songs are so sad. And then he's so funny, like.
The first time I saw him was at Rebel in Toronto.
Oh, wow. What a great show that would be.
Yeah, it was great. But that was the first time that I said to myself, he is freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I had no idea.
Yeah, so many people don't know that.
Yeah. His music's so sad.
Everybody's got to watch his interviews on YouTube because they're worth it. You'll have a good laugh.
Speaking of performances, we're at shows all the time. So far this year, what's been your favorite show?
It's going to have to be Ed Sheeran's intimate concert at History in Toronto. And for those of you who don't know, History only holds 2,500 people.
Yeah.
And we got tickets through work, which was insane as it was. Like, we usually don't get tickets to things like that.
And so we found out like last minute.
Like the day before. Yeah. And I kid you not, I was probably crying when I saw the confirmation email because I am a huge Ed Sheeran fan. And I've been a fan of his since the A-Team came out, from the beginning. And to see him in a room with, that many people and to perform his new album, I absolutely love Subtract. I think it's one of the most, vulnerable albums he's ever put out. And it really connects with a lot of people going through grief. And I was just so happy to see it in such a small venue. And just to hear everything he said about it, it was just, once in a lifetime. That's gonna be hard to top.
Getting to hear him speak about each track individually in the format that he wants to address it to the crowd with is a super unique thing that you don't really get anymore, let alone at all. A lot of the times that just doesn't happen. But I think also when it's an artist that's gotten to that level, and you don't get to see them in that sort of format all the time.
Literally never.
It's so unlikely, and so that was really special to be able to see him in such an intimate crowd setting. And I mean, he came into the audience.
Yeah, and he came so close to us.
So great. That was a great show.
Even just that part alone, when he came into the audience, sang without a microphone, and literally everybody just was quiet and he just used his voice. It's just, he's so talented. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I loved it.
Yeah.
What about you, Jess? What was your favorite?
Well, it's been a busy year, but I have like a small personal favorite of mine that isn't technically their show, but it was at a festival that I was at, Hot in Here by Nelly. And, you know, I am a really, probably most people don't know, big Akon fan.
Bangers.
And he just, I don't even remember the last time I actively saw him doing much.
Right.
In Canada especially.
Mm-hmm.
It's been years since
Yeah.
I've only got to see him once, but I love his music. And he was there. I got to basically watch the whole set, which was amazing. I was shooting it for iHeart, and I mean, it was a truly magical experience for me.
And you can't forget you almost got hit by a big ball that he was in.
I almost got run over. I mean, I was standing there in the pit trying to grab some photos, and I could see he went off the stage. I could see them inflating something on the side. I was like, what's going on? And then as it got bigger in size, I thought, oh my gosh, he's going to come out in a bubble and he's going to crowd surf.
So random.
So random, so obsessed with it because it was hilarious. And also just so smart because I feel like
that is smart.
if you're trying to go down the route of crowd surfing, there just seems like a lot that can go wrong.
Yeah.
So, you know.
So why not be in a bubble?
Yeah, perfect solution. Other than how hot it was that day,
Right.
I think he was having a great time.
It would be, as you say, hot in here.
Yes, it would be. But to be honest, he looked like he was having so much fun. But upon like attempting to exit, I saw the ball coming and I said, uh-oh, to myself.
Not today.
Yeah, and it was coming directly for me. I got a great shot of it and then scurried away very quickly. And it was just so much fun. It was a really fun day. All the artists were just playing absolute like throwback, top-notch bangers.
Yeah.
And I had a great time seeing Akon.
That looked like an amazing festival.
So good.
Wish I was there. All right, well, before we end this off, let's talk about a funny / embarrassing moment that we've had with some celebrities. Who wants to go first?
Well, let me think about this. I feel like I have the perfect thing. And it's hilarious because I'm known for having way too many photos on my camera roll.
Yeah, 100%.
Never have time to go through them. I take so many pictures at shows and everything, and artists coming in, and often, you know, I'm grabbing some social videos or social photos on my phone if someone else is taking photos of the artist. And we had Tyler Shaw in, and we were doing a Christmas bit. This was years ago, so like 2018.
Yeah, I've never heard this story before.
I think, yeah, it's not one I bring up often. And we were all set up, we had a blast, took some photos, and I don't remember exactly what he asked, but there was some sort of reference, I think, about the photo that I took. Maybe he wanted to see the cookie, I have no idea. But I scrolled too fast on my phone.
Oh no.
And it just took off. And I love Sephora, okay? I'm big into all the skincare, face masks, all that jazz. Mm-hmm. I had recently done the bubble face mask.
Oh my God.
And I had taken some funny photos in my bubble face mask.
Oh my God.
And so literally it's just selfies of my face in the bubble face mask.
And that's where
like
you landed?
full foam.
Oh.
And it just went right to it. And
Oh
we're
my
both
God.
just staring at my bubbly face. And I was like, whoops.
Oh
And
my gosh.
just took back off because
Did
I
he
was
comment
like,
on it?
yeah,
Oh.
there was definitely some side eye. It was like, oh, and like a little chuckle. And I was like,
Oh my gosh. I
mhm.
would have died.
yeah, it's a great photo. So, yeah.
That's great.
I wish I could forget that.
I mean, I feel like he might not forget that either.
I don't know. Hopefully he did. It was
Oh
a
my
great
gosh.
sight.
That's funny. No, that's really funny. That's something you can laugh about, though.
Yeah. At least it wasn't anything bad.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel
really
like
bad.
Mine's a little more awkward than embarrassing.
Who's it with?
Sean Paul.
Oh, Sean Paul.
So Sean Paul came in for an interview with Chum, and I filmed it, and then he brought like a crew of like 5 to 7 people. Like there was quite a bit of people. And they were all men, so I'm like the only girl. I'm very petite, I'm like 5'2", so just like this little girl in between this big crew of men. So he's leaving after I take some photos of them. I'm like, all right, like, you know, see you later, Sean Paul. He leaves, he comes back, and a lot of his crew is still there actually. And I guess his backpack was behind where I was standing. And I noticed, so I figured he was coming for that. So I kind of like moved out of the way, but he moved the same way.
Oh no.
So then he thought I was like going in for a hug.
No!
And then he like took the backpack and then also kind of gave me a hug.
No.
And I was like, oh, okay, goodbye again. Like with an awkward half hug, half he's grabbing the backpack. And then he left and I'm like, oh my God, like did he think I was trying to hug him? And I think he did.
Maybe he did and then realized.
I don't know. Like, I don't know
It's
if
like a
he's
2 in 1.
embarrassed or if I'm embarrassed, but it was hella awkward.
That's the
And
worst though.
I don't think I can like look him in the eye ever again.
You go for the handshake and it's the
yeah,
hug
yeah,
type
it was
thing.
like that. And I'm like,
yeah.
this was really awkward.
Well,
you know?
if Sean Paul ever comes back,
I'll be sick that day.
You can start with the hug.
Like, hi,
Go
hug.
straight in. Besties.
No, he's going to have like a restraining order.
He thinks you're out for him.
Yeah, that was not great. But this was fun.
Yeah.
Our first episode.
So fun.
Over and done with.
Love talking about artists.
Me too. It is safe to say that we were both, well, still are, very big fangirls, turned professionals into the music industry,
Yeah.
which many of us, I feel, do take that path.
I feel like quite a few. What
but-
was the first thing you fangirled, like majorly?
Oh, that's a good question. Like bringing it back to like young stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, the
What
first
started it?
Oh, what started it? Well, I loved the Backstreet Boys as a kid. Like loved them. Also, B44. Like loved them too.
Yeah.
So that definitely started it. I think what catapulted me into fangirl like 100% was probably the Jonas Brothers.
Yeah.
I was just like, love them to I am completely obsessed and I will marry Nick Jonas. That was my mindset as a 14-year-old. So,
Yeah.
spoiler alert, didn't happen. But
What?
but that was it. What about you?
I feel like the first band that I was really obsessed with was Simple Plan.
Oof.
I loved Simple Plan.
Yeah.
Loved Pierre. But hardcore, like all my usernames, was Down with Webster.
Right.
Literally just recently changed them because I decided
Yeah.
it was time to part ways.
It was time.
Since they're not,
It was a little late.
doesn't seem to be happening.
Of a change.
The reunion.
No.
But yeah, it was Down with
Interesting.
Webster. It was all of my I like went all over the place. I won all the contests.
That's crazy.
I entered them all. Yeah, I did
Amazing.
everything. I loved them. And I still do. I still love Down with Webster. Bring it back. And obviously One Direction.
Yes.
So
I gotta say, I was part of the One Direction fandom as well. Probably not as intense as you.
the
though.
Directioners.
The Directioners, yes.
Not
However, I was more into the Jonas Brothers.
Yeah. And see,
But they
was,
kind of ended while One Direction really took off, so
yeah.
it was fine.
Not
One
like
ended,
me
next one.
in Hawaii trying to bring back all of the cutouts
Oh my gosh.
because they had to come.
Okay, we'll save that for another episode.
Sneak peek.
But thank you for joining us if you've made it this far.
Yes.
And we'll be back talking more about our fun events that we go to with work and more fangirl stuff.
Yeah. Everything we've been up to. Thank you.
Thanks. See ya.
Bye.